Have you ever wondered why we shake hands? It seems so simple, so automatic. We do it when we meet someone, when we close a deal, when we make peace. But this small gesture carries thousands of years of history, trust, and human connection. Today, we're going to uncover the incredible story of how the handshake became a global symbol of trust. Imagine a world without written contracts, without signatures, without even a written language for most people. This was the reality for our ancient ancestors. Agreements were made with spoken words and promises were deeply personal. But how do you prove a promise? How do you build trust when words can be easily forgotten or denied? You need something more. You need a physical sign, a tangible symbol that says, "I mean what I say." This need gave birth to one of the most enduring traditions in human history, the handshake. Our story begins in ancient Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization. Archaeologists have found stone carvings dating back thousands of years that show two figures, often kings or gods, grasping each other's hands. In a world full of danger, this gesture was a powerful statement of peace. An open, empty hand proved you weren't holding a weapon. It was a clear, non-verbal signal that said, "I come in peace. I mean you no harm." This simple act of showing an unarmed hand was the very first step in building trust between strangers, a tradition that laid the foundation for everything to come. From Mesopotamia, we travel to ancient Greece, where the handshake took on a new, profound meaning: equality. The Greeks were pioneers of democracy and philosophy, and this was reflected in their customs. When two Greeks shook hands, their hands met at the same level. No one's hand was on top. No one's was on the bottom. It was a physical representation of mutual respect, a sign that both individuals saw each other as equals. This idea was so important that it's all over their art. You can see sculptures and vase paintings of gods shaking hands with mortals, heroes with common citizens. It was a powerful message that trust and respect could bridge any gap, even the one between the divine and the human. Next, the Roman Empire, master builders and lawmakers, took the handshake and formalized it. The Romans, known for their pragmatism, integrated the gesture into their legal and public life. It was called the dextran junctio, which literally means the joining of right hands. Why the right hand? It was considered the hand of strength, action, and honor. When two Romans shook hands to seal a business deal or an oath of allegiance, it was as binding as any written law today. To break a promise made with a handshake was a grave dishonor. It was a public declaration of your word, and your reputation depended on keeping it. The Romans turned a gesture of peace into a symbol of legal and social commitment. As the Roman Empire faded, Europe entered the Middle Ages. This was a time of knights, castles, and bustling market towns. In a world where many were still illiterate, the handshake became even more crucial for commerce. Imagine a medieval marketplace, crowded with merchants from different lands, speaking different dialects. How did they make deals? With a handshake. It sealed agreements for everything from a sack of grain to a plot of land. There were no lawyers to draft complex documents, no fine print to read. Your handshake was your bond. A merchant's reputation was built on the strength of his word and the firmness of his grip. It was a system built entirely on personal honor and community trust. So why did the handshake survive when so many other ancient customs have disappeared? Empires rose and fell. Languages evolved and vanished. Cultures transformed. But through it all, the handshake remained. Its power lies in its simplicity and universality. It transcends language barriers and cultural differences. You don't need to speak the same tongue to understand the meaning of an outstretched hand. It's an innate human signal of goodwill and trust. This is why it has endured for millennia, passed down from generation to generation as a fundamental piece of our social DNA. And that brings us to the modern world. Think about it. Major business deals, worth billions of dollars, still often begin and end with a handshake. World leaders, meeting for critical diplomatic talks, shake hands for the cameras to signal cooperation and a desire for peace. When you meet a new colleague or a future in-law, that first handshake sets the tone for the entire relationship. It's a quick, almost subconscious assessment of character. Even in our digital age of emails and video calls, the handshake retains its power. Nothing quite replaces that physical connection, that moment of shared human contact. The handshake is so much more than just a habit or a social formality. It's a living piece of history. It's a silent contract, a physical promise, and a symbol of our shared humanity. Every time we reach out our hand to another, we are participating in a tradition that stretches back to the dawn of civilization. We are repeating a gesture that has sealed peace treaties, forged alliances, built economies, and started friendships for thousands of years. It's a beautiful reminder that at our core, we are social creatures who crave connection and rely on trust. The next time you shake someone's hand, take a moment to appreciate the incredible weight of history and meaning that you hold in your grasp. It's a tradition older than history itself, and it connects us all. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through time. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the hidden histories that shape our world. We'll see you in the next video.